Hello, YouTube, and welcome to a new video for CompTIA A Plus 2201201 from Objective 2.1, like we did last time about TCP and UDP. Yes, we'll do a PBQ or performance-based question, which is what is most requested by any of my subscribers. So yes, we went over these objectives that students must be able to compare and contrast TCP and UDP ports, protocols, and purposes. Couldn't talk. So we'll have three different performance-based questions. The first two you should be able to do if you watched my last video. If not, it'll be a bit harder, but maybe you want a good challenge. So specifically, you need to know what TCP and UDP is, different kinds of uses it has. So I had some visuals last time. Do you remember last time we had a handshake and we had a DORA? What is the handshake? What is DORA? Which one is TCP? Which one is UDP? What does that mean exactly? Um, Hopefully you know the answer. If not, if that sounds foreign, then go back, take a look at the video, and maybe come back where you left off. So we'll have kind of an example of the different uses of the TCP handshake and UDP DORA. You'll need to know, fill in the blank for each one. How are they different and how are they used? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to get out of present mode and I will fill these in. Before I do that, let's take a look at a network tool. One of the most useful tools you can use on a network is netstat. So you can see the different states on the right-hand side. And maybe it'll even tell you what kind of protocol it's using. And it does. Great. So we have examples of HTTP, HTTPS. You should know that if you've been studying from these videos. We have examples of established state, and we have close, wait. Okay, so some different states to be in. And that's enough for this video, so I'll close it. Anyway, back to here. I give you as a hint the first word, or sorry, the first letter of each word. So what is the very first kind of packet sent? When you send a packet to a server or a service, you'll be sending them a sync packet. And the server will talk back and send you a sync ACK. And if you get a sync ACK, then you'll respond with acknowledge, or you'll give them acknowledgement back or an ACK packet. And after the three-way handshake is completed, the packets will be established. Like we saw on netstat, some were established, some were waiting to close. So yeah, they'll have a status like that established. Okay, so how did you do? Was that easy? Was that hard? Well, if you did okay, then we'll move on to UDP DORA. Or if you remember what is DHCP or the Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. What does all that mean? Well, that uses port 67 and 8. Yeah, 67 for client, 68 for server, if I remember correctly. And we use that even at home, in our home routers, on our iPhones or Androids. We put that on Wi-Fi. Most likely we're using that to get an IP address. It's automatic. You don't have to put in any information. It just does it for you. So we can say, hey, thank you very much, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. You make our lives very easy. Okay, moving on. So D, Dora. That's a hint already. We should have that picture of Dora in our head. This one stands for discover. Okay. Next one, offer, request, and accept. So I think it's pretty challenging PBQ to know that. Is it going to be on the A plus? Maybe less likely. You might need to know what TCP is or what UDP is. So if you can do this exercise and know these pictures and understand it, you'll definitely do pretty well on the network portion of the A plus. And if you're studying for the network plus, then this kind of video should be right up your alley. You should be getting as much exposure as you can to different active learning to use knowledge for the Network Plus. So I have one more PBQ left. Okay, so we have different kinds of data we're going to analyze. I didn't tell you what kind of protocol it is. You just have to figure it out. So that's a bit challenging. And I did throw a curveball here. So let's take a look and arrange the handshake packets. First, we have source, and then destination, protocol, size, and request. So we're going to move these around until they're in the correct order. But wait a second, what does it get? I haven't explained that yet. How much do you know about web servers or web traffic? If you know a lot, then this should be easy. But if you don't know anything, then yeah, you'll be in the dark. So let's skip that for now. But we do know things like SYN-ACK, SYN, and ACK. Okay, we just went over that. What was the order again? The first one that we have to use, yeah, that one is SYN. Okay, next is SYN-ACK. And once things are good and the client is happy, it'll be an acknowledged connection and connection will be established. So wait a second, what is GET? So there's two types of different packets from web servers. You can get a GET or a POST. And that'll happen after the connection's established. So great. Hopefully that went well. Maybe you learned something new, or you can, yeah, maybe Google a new thing like get or post for web servers and start learning about that. Good. So yeah, I think stuff like this, it's not so easy. So don't feel discouraged if you didn't do well or what or weren't sure exactly what the answers are. But if you play around more with these kind of exams, you'll get more exposure to these kind of network protocols, how they work, getting a good visualization of how they work. Maybe you can draw it out. Really helps. Here's an example down below of Wireshark and the kind of captures that it kind of packets that it captures. We have SYN, SYN-ACK, and ACK. So it would look just like that with these in ephemeral port numbers that are really high. These standardized ones, 443, so that would be HTTPS, okay, and then it connects from the outside web server. Cool. So thanks for watching. Hope you learned something new today, or maybe even took home some new knowledge. Okay, good luck studying for your exam, and check out my channel for more CompTIA content.